guys, this is AtariBot and welcome back. We are back once again with the Miata. Putting a fresh battery in there. I tried to get the same battery, something close to it or whatever. Apparently that battery doesn't fit either. Now obviously I think my dad was working on the fuel system here. I think he had the right idea. But first I had to figure out why I couldn't even get the engine to turn over. And you know, we bypassed the clutch switch, which I think is what it was. A little tapping on the starter. Crank right up. Well, it didn't fire right up. It turned over. It wouldn't start. Which I quickly realized I was getting power to the fuel pump. But despite getting power to the fuel pump, which you can just check off those pins there, turn the key on. But yeah, so we're going to put a fuel pump in it. But I did not get the entire module. No. Did not get the whole module. We got just the pump. Which means you're going to have to take this whole thing apart. I'm going to pull out the module, the whole assembly. Now my understanding is you can buy the whole fuel pump assembly for reasonable price for what it is. But for way cheaper you can get just the pump. I don't remember the exact prices, but it's something like the fuel pump assembly is like $200 and the fuel pump itself is like $50. Maybe more or less, depending on where you're at, wherever. US dollars. So yeah, and these hoses might be in bad shape, so you might consider replacing them, or the clamps. The clamps tend to lose their springiness and clampiness. You don't want any gas leaking out here. But yeah, basically what you're going to need to do here is remove your carpeting, you know, there. It's a bunch of just those push tab things. You can use like a fork or whatever to pull them out, or the actual tool that pulls those things out. But yeah, you know, those hoses, just give them a little twist. You know. I have hose pliers, but those are the pliers I had on me. Yeah, they were still okay. Maybe they'd been replaced in the past. I don't know. I can't believe that this is the first time this car was ever needed a fuel pump. But it's possible. The fuel pump I took out of here did not look very pretty. It's very possible the base of it was original, like the rubber part that goes on the bottom. It's very possible. Looking on that other line now. They had Phillips head screws surrounding the outside of this. They were just kind of machine thread. Yeah, you might have to clean out the plus out of the top of them with a little pick and some brush and stuff, you know. I already tried to. You want to clean around this as best you can. I've already done the best I can to get this kind of cleaned up around here. And there's also this metal plate that goes over that's under the carpet too. But anyway. You'll figure that out. It's like a 10mm bolt all the way around. There it is. Look at the sock. The sock is what's going to press onto the bottom of your pump. And I didn't know this right away, but my pump didn't come with a sock. I had to go back there and get another sock. So there's no reusing this sock. Look at the amount of rust on this thing. It's going to need some cleaning. So you see, I got the new rubber piece there and a new hose that came with. This all just came with the pump though, but it didn't come with the new sock. I think if you saw that sock laying around somewhere, someone might think that it was like some nasty condom that's seen some backdoor action somewhere. That's just don't just. I know my jokes are just the worst. I know. See, that's the rubber we're gonna replace. I know. No, not that. That's the filter. The part above that is the rubber, the black part. Listen. I can feel the comments below. Okay. I'm pumping here. Man, there's nothing I can say right anymore, is there? It's all downhill from here. I mean, if you want your gasoline to flow, it's easier to make it flow downhill. Yeah, that's where we're going with that. Yeah. Look at me pump. Pump it. Get you a firm grip there. Man, I've destroyed this episode. Okay. So we got about 5 gallons here. It was crazy. You know, actually it filled this up and then I had to go get some gallon jugs or other gallons. I went and got a lawnmower. It ran, so it's like, okay, well, the gas wasn't that bad, but still not going to put it back in there. It's going to go into lawnmowers now. I'm going to save this gasket because I can't get another one. And it actually surprisingly didn't look that bad. That's another thing that leads me to believe that there's no way this is the original fuel pump. Somebody's been here before. But look at the amount of rust. But you know, probably is because of condensation and just the tank sat there for a long time. Nowhere for the stuff to go. Not been any gasoline sloshing around in there to protect anything. If that's how it works, I don't know. I use a steel brush here and I just brush away. Yeah, seems to work okay. Be real careful with your float, because that's what tells you how much gas you have. Dr. Pepper. Oh yeah, you got little clamps here. Yeah, they're pretty crappy. You're going to be replacing those with some new ones. I don't remember what size they were. They were tiny. But at this point, you never know. You know, and chances are on your Miata too, it's going to have some. It could have 1/4 inch, or somebody could have actually replaced it with some metric ones, or it could have something fancier. Who knows? They make fuel injector clamps that are really good. That would be good for this. But I'm just going to use the clamps that were included with the fuel pump kit. So I'm kind of cheap and lazy like that. Well, I'm not really. I mean, it's like, but how much realistically is anybody going to do here? Man, this hose is like crunchy. Let's see. See how this bad boy comes out of here. Let's try to get it unplugged first. Because, yeah, we want to be careful with this wiring here. We don't want to hurt the wiring. Because then, you know, you have a whole new problem. Been funny if that was the whole problem all along. The pump's fine. Just plug was just kind of loose. No, it looked like it was connected well. So yeah, you know, this you can normally you would flex this hose up into this. Look at this hose though. It's just that bad. But yeah, you would go further up and then back down into the frame. But yeah. But now that we have the pump off, we should maybe try to get something more cleaning done here. This thing. It's so crunchy. So crunchy. See, there's little spots of rust that we just didn't get. It'll come right off. I did have some carb cleaner. I kind of sprayed around it, you know, but it's like, I guess that helped a little bit. And you don't have to have like fuel sensor safe stuff. Just regular carb cleaner will be fine on this. It's not a big deal. Make sure you only use mass airflow sensor cleaner on this part. Could you imagine? You're going to need about 5 cans. That'd be $50 right there. Inflation? No, I don't know. Could be more now. That's how things go. Brush, brush, brush all day long. I brush my fuel pump all day long. I brush, brush, brush all day long. I brush my fuel pump 'cause it's really long. I don't know. But yeah, you want to get all the rust off of it, you know. I mean, it's, you know. Why put that back in your fuel tank? You don't want that back in your fuel. You don't want rust in your fuel tank. You know, just give it a little spray. Little splash. I was taking a bath. Gotta move the camera. Ooh, hit my hand. Don't get this on your hands. Make sure you are wearing gloves. Don't do this without wearing gloves. And safety glasses. Yes. Because you don't want to get this on your hands, really. And you don't want to get it in your eye either. That's the worst, I can tell you right now. I mean, I don't know. Somebody else probably tell you. I wouldn't know. Never get anything in my eyes, ever. Anyway, back to our fuel pump. Yeah. Brush, brush, brush all day long. Brush and I make up this song. I wanted to do a fuel pump cleaning song, but I mean, you never know. But you haven't watched the whole video yet. You don't know. I might have like stopped in the middle of this and said, you know what? I'm going to write a freaking fuel pump song. I don't know. But yeah. No, I mean, it's I guess, you know, you don't come to this channel for the comedy. I know you don't. You come here to learn. As you see here, you clean it with carb cleaner. I think we've covered that already, though. See, I can shorten segments of my video because some things just do take a while. You know, like the pumping of the gas. Obviously, I had to speed that part up, you know. Oh, like this stuff here, like the rubber hose. The reason I sprayed some carb cleaner into it, it just makes it a little more slippery. And I don't want to put WD-40 in there or nothing because I just don't. It's just bad. Never had good luck with WD-40 in certain parts. But even though it won't be there long, guess it wouldn't matter. But yeah, I just spray a little carb cleaner and it did fine. It makes the rubber slide. It's what I had. Whatever. If you want to use some specialty white lithium spray, and more power to you. Go at it. Go at it. Go get it. It's the best thing you could probably use. Too bad it's water based and stuff. Look at this. Now see, the black piece that came with this fuel pump. Oh, you can see the brand. Whatever. Anyway, it didn't fit in there. I don't remember where I got it. I got it from a local parts store though. But, I mean, maybe it's just a generic kind of piece that they throw into all of the fuel pumps, and this is a generic kind of fuel pump that goes to a bunch of vehicles. Because back in the day, this was how a lot of vehicles were done in the 80s and 90s and 70s. Anyway, yeah, this was a common way to do a fuel pump. You know, you would just go buy the module and you'd replace just the pump part. You wouldn't replace the whole module. Nowadays, you go buy a fuel pump on most newer vehicles, it's the whole module. It's the whole thing. It's coming out, you're getting a new module. You know what a module is? It's a pump with a gauge. That's all the module is. And whatever evap they've stuck on them nowadays. Because we don't want any of those fumes getting away. They don't. I mean, whatever. You know, they do what they do. I'm not really here to rant. You know, I'm glad that this is a 95. Didn't have an O2 sensor after the cat. Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, certain years benefited from deregulation, I should say, on certain vehicles. So I think that's what will bring a lot of cars back as classic cars, because the 80s was, aside from a few vehicles out there, you know, the 80s was kind of a stinker. It was not like, hey, it just wasn't a lot of cars out there for people to get excited about. I know you're thinking like, oh, Grand Nationals and stuff were awesome. That didn't say every car out there was bad. I just said there wasn't many. But in the 90s, they started getting cool again. But then the problem was, because they started getting rounded and more sporty and different things are happening. But then regulations, because of environmental things, started happening, you know. And I'm not saying those are bad things, but cars these days, because of all this, they're getting much smaller engines that are depending on a turbo to make them more powerful on most engines out there. You know, or most gas engines, they're going all electric now, supposedly. Theoretically, everything will go all electric, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, and you'll still have people who collect cars, and we'll have gasoline cars, and there will still be gas stations out there, but before too long, only because the technology has surpassed gasoline beyond what gasoline can catch up with. You know, you look at all the advances that have been made in gasoline engine technology, and you look at all the advances that have been made between battery and electric motor technology, you're getting more power more bang for the buck with electricity now. It's more powerful, cheaper to operate, and more reliable. It's less moving parts. Until you make them into hybrids or you turn them into something else. This is just a chit-chat video, isn't it? So yeah, that's how I put the pump in. You know what? That pump's not going anywhere. If it doesn't sit perfectly on that thing, it's just, as long as it's kind of held there and the hose will hold it there, you know, it's not going to go anywhere. So don't worry if it's not perfect. It's kind of, if it's kind of tight and it's kind of there, then it'll probably stay there. So, you know, here we are. More cleaning. Trying to get stuff cleaned and better so that nothing falls in. I saw something fall in. Take of it. Anyway, I left audio on. So most of these parts, I thought my microphone wasn't working, so that's why you get a lot of silence on a lot of this. And sometimes you don't have silence. But yeah, and there's this one bolt on the plate that apparently doesn't come out for whatever reason. Maybe they're Phillips heads. I don't remember what those were. But I think I'm going to have to just put this back on and then drill that one out and fix it that way. But I do want to make sure this seals, you know. I'm not sure. I know there was just a carpet over it. There might have been something else that was supposed to go over this. It seems like a mat or something. But see, unfortunately for me, it came to me this way. You know, which makes me think, you know, my dad had already suspected that this had a fuel pump problem. He just hadn't gotten into it yet, you know. It's okay. We got it. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was having trouble getting this thing to line up. I figured it out though.
Why?
I don't know what it was. I just ended up taking it back up and putting it back down, and trying to like more twisted it toward the back seat part, and then kind of twisted it over to the left.
This has to go down. This has to go down.
Just had to go down that way. pretty sure they're just little Phillips heads. You know, just want to be careful. The reason I was just, I could have just turned the audio off from those, but whatever. I'm about to say something, I think. Or is it more train? So much train. It's hard to stop a train. Yeah, the reason I was using the screwdriver was just so I didn't over torque them. You know, you get more control. I got this tiny little screwdriver. I downgrade on my tools when I want to make sure I don't overdo something. Get the smallest little ratchet I got or something. Sometimes. I jokingly sometimes will just pull out the impact gun on the small tiny stuff, but really, you know, you use your head in reality. And taking something apart with one thing is another one thing, you know, and then putting it back together with that kind of power is not such a good idea. Yeah, the clamps are still pretty springy, so something's, I'm happy. Maybe I should replace the clamps, but fine. Just for now, I just want to see if it works. I want to see if get this fuel filter put in it. I don't know. I might not put the fuel filter in right away. I think I'm gonna first just crank it and see if this works. If I'm gonna, you know, pick up crap, I'm gonna put it in this old filter. Then put a new filter in it. Let's get some gas in there. I hate these things. See what works. You see what happens? Whoever designed this piece of crap.
That's not good.
What the hell? There we go. Suck in them juices. Feel the power. That's zoom juice right there. I put the super gas in it. Maybe to clean stuff out a little bit, you know. I don't remember. But they did put the better gas in it just to help clean stuff out. And it's only like a gallon anyway. If we ever get the thing back out. There we go. I've destroyed the paint now. It's ruined. I'll never fix it now. See? Mic keeps coming off. But hey, it's running. I don't know if you can hear the engine. Maybe if I get quiet and shut up and I turn this mic off. Let's see what happens. Alright, we'll see you guys next episode. Bye.